Senators will take their seats. All persons not entitled to the privilege of the floor will please be seated in the gallery. The Senate will come to order. The session will be open with prayer. Prayer will be offered by the chaplain of the Senate, the Honorable Megan Martin, Secretary of the Senate. Please rise.
An old friend shared this prayer with me yesterday, and it's beautiful and it's timely, so I'm going to share it with all of you today. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, please walk through our houses. We give you the keys to every room. Take away all our worries, any illnesses, anything that may have been entered that does not belong. Please watch over and assign your warrior angels to stand guard and heal our families from any disease, pain, fatigue, or discomfort. Also comfort our friends, neighbors, and relatives. Wrap them in your love and protect us from the COVID virus. Amen.
Please remain standing and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. The chair thanks Secretary Martin for the prayer. Next order of business is leaves of absence. The chair recognizes... I go back. We go to communications. We have communications. The chair lays before the Senate. Senate bills entitled, numbered, and referred as follows, which the clerk will now read.
Monday, April 6, Senate Bill 1106, referred to Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness.
The chair wishes to announce that I have signed in the presence of the Senate House Bill 775. Chair recognizes Senator Corman for leaves of absence.
No leaves at this time, Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Senator Costa for leaves of absence.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request a legislative leave for Senator Leach. Thank you, sir.
Senator Costa requests legislative leave for Senator Leach. Without objection, the leave will be granted. The Journal of January 29, 2020 is now in print. The clerk will proceed to read the Journal.
Senate convened Wednesday, January 29th.
Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move we dispense with further reading the Journal. The Journal be approved.
Senator Corman moves that further reading of the Journal be dispensed with and the Journal be approved. On the motion, the clerk will call the roll.
Argel.
Aye.
Aye. Arnold.
Aye.
Aye. Almond.
Aye.
Aye. Baker.
Aye.
Aye. Bartolotta.
Aye.
Aye. Blake.
Aye.
Aye. Boscola.
Aye.
Aye. Brewster.
Aye.
Aye. Brooks.
Aye.
Aye. Brown. Aye. Collette.
Aye.
Aye. Corman. Aye. Costa. Aye. Dinniman.
Aye.
Aye. DeSanto.
Aye.
Aye. Farnese.
Aye.
Aye. Fontana.
Aye.
Aye. Gordner. Aye. Haywood.
Aye.
Aye. Hughes.
Aye.
Aye. Hutchinson.
Aye.
Aye. Iovino.
Aye.
Aye. Carney.
Aye.
Aye. Killian.
Aye.
Aye. Langerholtz.
Aye.
Aye. Laughlin.
Aye.
Aye. Leach. Aye. Martin. Aye. Mastriano. Aye. Mensch.
Aye.
Aye. Muth.
Aye.
Aye. Phillips-Hill.
Aye.
Aye. Pittman.
Aye.
Aye. Regan.
Aye.
Aye. Sabatina.
Aye.
Aye. Senacero.
Aye.
Aye. Scavello.
Aye.
Aye. Schwank.
Aye.
Aye. Stefano.
Aye.
Aye. Street.
Aye.
Aye. Tartaglione.
Aye.
Aye. Tomlinson.
Aye.
Aye. Vogel.
Aye.
Aye. Ward Judy.
Aye.
Aye. Ward Kim.
Aye.
Aye. Williams Anthony H.
Aye.
Aye. Williams Lindsay. Aye. Y'all.
Aye.
Aye. Udicek.
Aye.
Aye. Scarnati. Aye.
The vote on the motion, ayes 50, nays 0. The motion is carried and the journal is approved. Senator Leach has returned from leave. For committee announcements, the chair recognizes Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request a recess to the Senate for the purpose of an off-the-floor Veterans Affairs Committee meeting to be held immediately here on the Senate floor.
For the purposes of a off-the-floor Veterans Affairs Committee meeting, the Senate is at ease. Is consideration of today's calendar. The first bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 841. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that the Senate do concur in amendments placed by the House in Senate Bill 841 as further amended by the Senate.
Senator Corman moves that the Senate do concur in House amendments to Senate Bill 841 as further amended by the Senate. On the motion, Senator Martin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Senate Bill 841 reauthorizes the Pennsylvania Healthcare Cost Containment Council for 10 years. In addition, it requires a study of the impact of COVID-19 on medical facilities within the Commonwealth. In addition, Senate Bill 841 will allow any municipality, including counties, to adopt a resolution to extend their discount period for property tax collection and/or waive any fees and penalties until the end of the year. It is completely optional, but they have to make the decision within 30 days of the bill being signed into law. Next, Senate Bill 841 also expressly permits any local government or affiliated entity like a zoning board or planning agency to meet remotely via telecommunications, which requires a minimum of audio communication without the need to have a quorum physically present. They just need to have a quorum of members participating on the actual telecommunications device. In addition, for permit applications and other related matters, there is a 30-day suspension of any required timeline for pending or new applications and appeals. Next, the Senate Bill 841 extends the deadline and waives some of the requirements for the Educational Improvement Tax Credit Program. And finally, Senate Bill 841 adds e-notary services to become available and permitted in the Commonwealth. I urge my colleagues to please support the bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Further on the motion, Senator Costa.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I thank the gentleman for providing the elements of the latest version of Senate Bill 841, and just want to take a moment to thank our colleagues on both sides of the aisle. This is another example of where during this crisis we have worked together to compromise and understand and working with the stakeholders to come to a place where we move legislation to allow us to be able to operate our local governments and other folks as well through this time as we go forward through this crisis. So it's another example of our working together to address these issues, and I appreciate the work that's done largely by the staff of our respective caucuses, and thank them for the work they've done to bringing us to this point in time. And hopefully the House will concur in this measure very, very soon. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank the gentleman. Further on the motion. Clerk will call the roll.
Argel.
Aye.
Aye. Arnold.
Are there any negative votes? Any negative votes? Seeing none, the clerk proceed with a fast roll call.
Order Martin Street.
The vote on concurrence is ayes 50, nays 0. The amendments are concurred in the House in the bill and will be returned to the House of Representatives for its concurrence in the Senate's further amendments. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 64. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 64 on page 1 of our calendar and House Bill 280 on page 2 of our calendar go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 64 and House Bill 280 on page 2 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 355. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that House Bill 355 be laid upon the table.
Senator Corman moves that House Bill 355 be laid upon the table. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that House Bill 355 be taken from the table and placed upon the active calendar.
Senator Corman moves that House Bill 355 be taken off the table and placed on the active calendar. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 417. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that Senate Bill 417 and the remaining bills on page 2 of our calendar, as well as all the bills on page 3, page 4 of our calendar today, as well as House Bill 1907 on page 5 of our calendar, all go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that bills beginning with Senate Bill 417 on page 2 of today's calendar through and including House Bill 1907 on page 5 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 1050. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1051. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 1052. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 1053. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1054. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1055. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1056. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1057. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1058. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1059. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1060. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1061. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1062. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1063. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Next bill is Senate Bill 1064. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 1050 on page 5 of our calendar and all the bills down to Senate Bill 1064 on page 8 of our calendar be recommitted to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that bills beginning with Senate Bill 1050 on page 5 of today's calendar through and including Senate Bill 1064 on page 8 of today's calendar be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 207. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that Senate Bill 207 on page, and the rest of the bills on page 8 of our calendar, as well as House Bill 342 on page 9 of our calendar, go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that bills beginning with Senate Bill 207 on page 8 of today's calendar through and including House Bill 342 on page 9 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 377. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 377 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 377 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill is Senate Bill 531. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that Senate Bill 531 and Senate Bill 565 go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that Senate Bill 531 and Senate Bill 565 go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 584. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that House Bill 584 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 584 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill is Senate Bill 766. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request Senate Bill 766 on page 9 of our calendar, as well as the first 4 bills down to and including Senate Bill 995 on page 10 of our calendar, go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that bills beginning with Senate Bill 766 on page 9 of today's calendar through and including Senate Bill 995 on page 10 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on the calendar is Senate Bill 1027. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 1027 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 1027 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill is House Bill 1083. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that House Bill 1083 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that House Bill 1083 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 1093. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 1093 be recommitted to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 1093 be recommitted to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill is Senate Bill 1097. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 1097 be referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 1097 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 1174. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 1174 and House Bill 1796 go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 1174 and House Bill 1796 go over their order.
Mr.
Without
President,
objection, the bills will go over their order. This completes today's calendar.
Mr. President, will you be at ease for a moment?
The Senate will be at ease. Senate will come to order. Next order of business, reports of committee. From Senator Regan, the Veteran Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, Senate bill reported as committed, Senate Bill 1106. House bill reported as amended, House Bill 1869. Does the chair hear a motion that the Senate proceed to the consideration of all bills reported from committee for the first time at today's session? Senator Gordner so moves. For the information of the members, the clerk will read the bill numbers.
Senate Bill 1106 and House Bill 1869.
Will the Senate agree to the bills? Agreed to. Next order of business, petitions and remonstrances. The chair recognizes Senator Mensch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I made a comment that for which I would like to apologize. It was an offhanded comment to another person in the office, and caution to everyone, the microphones are open. I thought it was closed, but it was a personal comment, personal observation. Thank you.
The chair appreciates the comment. For petitions and remonstratives, the chair recognizes Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, as you can see, I'm wearing a mask here today, which is under the guidance of the Governor and the Secretary of Health during this crisis. And I just wanted to point out, of course, it's a little, my alma mater, Penn State logo on the mask, and it was actually made by Anita Powell, who's the mother of Ashley Albert, who works in my office, and Ruth Ann Schoenfeld, her aunt. And they made over 150 masks to give to different people in the community. I know a lot of different members of our community are doing such a thing. Senator Scavello made mention to me last night that his wife's making a bunch of masks that they're giving out to the community. in his neighborhood. And it's just another example of all of us pulling together during a very, very difficult time to try to help members of our community. So I just wanted to thank Mrs. Powell and Schoenfeld for their efforts, and go Penn State, and appreciate their interest in keeping us all healthy. Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair thanks the gentleman for his comments. Chair recognizes Senator Costa.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I want to acknowledge again that Senator Tartaglione would like to submit her comments on petitions for the record. Secondly, I want to concur in the comments made by my colleague, the Majority Leader Senator Corman, regarding thanking folks who are making masks. Now, while I am not wearing a University of Pittsburgh or an IUP or even a Community College of Allegheny County mask, I am wearing one proudly that was made by my wife, who's been home working and creating masks in the community. So I want to, my hat's off certainly to her, but so many other folks across our Commonwealth who are pitching in whatever way they can to be able to help all of us address this crisis as we move forward, trying to combat this coronavirus. So thanks all those folks for what they're doing, all those individuals who are working and trying to help our community, the businesses that are converting their equipment into other things going forward. All those things are important to this cause. So thank you, Mr. President, for the chance to be able to thank those folks.
The chair thanks the gentleman, and we will submit Senator Tartaglione's remarks for the record. Further announcement. The chair lays before the Senate bills entitled, numbered, and referred as follows, which the clerk will read.
Tuesday, April 7th, Senate Bill 1108, referred to appropriations.
For announcements, the chair recognizes Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, before we adjourn, I just want to like all the members of the Senate Republican Caucus to know that we're going to begin our caucus at 12 noon. You've all been emailed the address to do it remotely. So in 10 minutes at 12 noon, we will begin Senate Republican Caucus. Thank you, Mr. President.
For the purposes of Senator Costa.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will communicate with our members as well. They understand what the process is today, and I'll double back with them to ensure that we all know what's going on with respect to the remainder of today's session. Thank you, Mr. President.
For the purposes of Republican Democrat caucus, the Senate stands at ease.